What's on Togekiss's mind? Gonna go for Rock Wrecker, which feels like such overkill. Togekiss is gonna use Rock Wrecker on Munchlax and secure a victory. Our first finalists are Togekiss and Togepi. What a battle this was. Welcome back to MetroMania, and look at these beautiful brackets. Last week we said goodbye to Snorlax and Munchlax as Togepi and Togekiss absolutely brutalized their way through to get to the grand final. But of course we need to find out opponents for Togepi and Togekiss, so we'll find out this week as Magmortar and Magby take on ELECTIVIRE and ELEKID. So here we go. This is a very interesting battle, and I honestly didn't think this was one that we'd see, but we've got Magmortar and Magby against ELECTIVIRE and ELEKID, and that's effectively, they're effectively kind of like, I guess they're kind of counterparts, I suppose. Here we see ELEKID starting off with Fake Tears onto Magmortar there to start things off with a harsh special defense drop, which is not good for Magmortar. Bodes well for ELECTIVIRE though, who's going to go for Ember, which is not very effective. So not the greatest start there, and it's on Magby, so not a great deal of damage dealt. But now Magby has an opportunity to start this battle off, and it's going to go for Stockpile and increase its defense and special defense by one stage. Not a bad play there at all. Also allows it to use the move Swallow if that actually pops up instead of it just being a failed turn, or Spit Up if that turns up and isn't just a, instead of being a failed turn, which is great at the start of a Metronome battle. We see Retaliate for big damage from Magmortar from the get-go, but ELEKID's static is going to paralyze Magmortar, so not the best start, but a good chunk of damage to ELEKID. Warnings have been issued to ELEKID right there from Magmortar. Here we see ELEKID starting off the next turn though, and what is it going to do? It's going to go for Soft Boiled and says, screw you Magmortar, I've paralyzed you with my ability and now I'm going to restore my HP right back up to maximum. That's a fantastic play right there by ELEKID, just staring in the eyes of Magmortar in defiance there. Here comes ELECTIVIRE with Wonder Room, which I believe swaps held item. No, it's special defense stat. Yeah, I was right when I said swap. Swaps defense and special defense stats for 5 turns. Here we see Dive from Magby. Magby's going to hide underwater, not going to take any damage until it pops up out of the water. Magmortar, unfortunately, is paralyzed, so is not going to be able to continue in this battle just yet. So let's see what ELECTIVIRE is going to do starting off the next turn. It's going to go for Tail Slap. Which of its opponents is it going for? It's going for Magmortar. Oh, and these are good hits as well. Look at all that damage from ELECTIVIRE. Only 2 hits, though, unfortunately, for ELECTIVIRE. Over to ELEKID, though, who's going to go for Flame Wheel. It's going to be avoided by Magby, who's about to use Dive on ELEKID for a nice chunk of damage there. And Magmortar is ignoring the paralysis for this turn. What is Magmortar going to do? Going to go for Swagger. That's a risky play. Swagger on the ELEKID, the safer option for a Swagger right there, increasing its attack by 2 stages but confusing it. Hit the subscribe button, by the way. Turn on all notifications so you never miss anything on the channel. Hey, I hear WTF Moments is pretty good. Maybe you should give that a like, as well as this video. Give that a like as well. Here we see ELECTIVIRE though going to go for Fake Tears once again. More Fake Tears, so more special defense drops. Oh, on Magmortar again. So Magmortar is at -4 special defense, but Wonder Room is in effect though. ELEKID smashing itself in the face. The Swagger from Magmortar paying off. ELEKID almost knocking itself out. We see Slam avoided by ELEKID there, so Magby's move has failed. We see Poison Gas from Magmortar there. Gonna put both ELEKID and ELECTIVIRE on a timer. Poison Gas is a great move in Metronome battles, especially just in Metromania in general. Just putting both your opponents on a timer like that. And Poison Gas, oh, it's just so effective, isn't it? So ELEKID and ELECTIVIRE are both going to suffer the effects there of that poison. They are slowly but surely being worn down. This bodes very well for the Fire-type team of Magmortar and Magby there. ELEKID snaps out of confusion, though, but it is still at +2 attack, so keep that in mind. Going to go for Seed Bomb. Not very effective, but again, +2 attack, so let's see how much damage it does. It's still a good chunk of damage there for a not very effective move. Over to ELECTIVIRE now, who must be very excited to use Magic Powder. Look at that. That is going to make a Psychic type out of, yep, there we go. Magmortar is now a Psychic type, so keep track of that going forward. It's no longer Fire type. Magby is going to go for Self-Destruct Oh, that's a risk right there. Because isn't Magmortar's... No, it's fine. I was going to say, so Magby's knocked itself out. Big damage to Magmortar, though. How much damage did it do to... Oh, Elekid is out of here as well. And I think it was a decent chunk of damage to Electivire. I was going to say, with Wonder Room being in effect, doesn't it mean that special defense... But I guess it's just the special defense and the defense stats that are swapped, not their changes. So that's why Magmortar would have survived. So now I know more about Wonder Room. It doesn't reverse the stat changes, just the base stat. So that's very helpful. Just proves I'll never use Wonder Room like everybody else. There, we saw the poison damage there take effect on the Electivire as we see the next turn start Poison Gas, but it fails, of course, because Magmortar is already paralyzed. So you can't add that status condition on. Here's a Pollen Puff, though, from Magmortar onto Electivire. It's big damage. Electivire goes down. Let's hear from the sponsors then. Hey up everybody, I'm here to tell you once again about the lovely, wonderful, beautiful G Fuel. Today I'm drinking the wonderful Hype Sauce. Can I say wonderful again? Yes, Hype Sauce is wonderful. You can use code ACE to save yourself some money off G Fuel, and it helps out the channel, which is magical and wonderful, and I really appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Oh, Hype Sauce is really, really nice. For those wondering what the hell Hype Sauce is, it's raspberry lemonade and it's absolutely lovely. Remember, G Fuel is for over 18s only though, because it contains caffeine, and because it contains caffeine, just drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. So here we are in round 2, Elekid and Electivire with their backs against the walls. Magmortar and Magby managed to really turn that battle around with a very risky play using self-destruct like that, giving an opportunity to Magmortar to use that Pollen Puff. And now we see Electivire starting things off, going for Horn Drill. Wow, really wanted to end this thing early. Really wanted to secure the equalizer there. Agility from Elekid is going to make it the fastest thing on the field now. I guess we'll see how that comes into play going forward. I mean, if at all, it could just, you know, someone could just throw up Trick Room and completely ruin it. Here's Magby, though. Magby's going to go for Circle Throw onto Elekid. It won't remove it from the battle, but will do a decent chunk of damage there. And now here comes Magmortar for its first move of round 2. Psycho Shift, but it fails, I assume, because no stat changes have happened. So what's going to happen next with Elekid starting off the next turn? Now it's going to start off every turn for the foreseeable future. Seed Bomb, it used that in the previous round after being swaggered, and it's not very effective, so we know it's not going to do a great deal of damage, although it was still a decent chunk of chip damage to Magby there. Now it's over to Electivire. Electivire is going to go for Dig, which will be super effective on whichever opponent Electivire chooses to use Dig on, unless one of these Pokemon can throw out an Earthquake, which would be terrible, or a Magnitude. We see Power Trick from Magmortar, so it's going to swap its attack and its defense, I believe. Very interesting play. Don't know how that's going to help or hinder going forward. Here's Magby with Liquidation, though, avoided by Electivire because it's underground. So not a good turn for Magby. That would have been great damage to Elekid, though. That would have been a great job. Speaking of Elekid, here we go with its next move. It's going to go for Toxic Spikes. That's a waste of a turn. So it's very lucky that its partner Pokemon Electivire is using Dig this turn for a guaranteed super effective physical hit, which is going to land on Magmortar. Big damage. Wow. I wonder if the defense and attack swap saved Magmortar there. Magmortar's going to go for Sucker Punch. That's going to fail, but it's in a very difficult position right now. Took a lot of damage there. Magby is going to go for Mega Punch onto which of its opponents? Onto Electivire for a big chunk of damage there. Magby, do not count Magby out here. It definitely has some power behind it. Here comes Elekid, though, ready to deliver more. It's going to go for Light Screen, which is going to protect the team against special attacks. It was a special attack that took Electivire down in the previous round, so that's fair play. Here comes Electivire, though, speaking of, who is going to go for Poison Tail onto which opponent there? Onto Magmortar. Will it get the poison? It does not get the poison on Magmortar there. Magmortar's got to be very happy about that. Magmortar goes for Strength, and let's see how much that does to poor little Elekid. Not a great deal of damage there, actually. So I guess that's because of the attack-defense swap from the Power Trick. Here we see Leaf Storm, though, from Magby onto... Is that onto Elekid again? Onto Elekid for a good chunk of damage, but it is going to drop the special attack of Magby by 2 stages there. So this really could go either way. It's looking very, very even, although it is Magby and Electivire that seem to be the safer Pokemon on each team. Here's a Bullet Seed from Elekid, really cracking out all the grass type moves right now. So there's the first hit. It's a critical hit. We know we're going to get 2 hits because it's Bullet Seed, and that's the nature of the move. So there's the second hit. Not very effective. Just the 2 hits there from the Bullet Seed. Very unfortunate for Elekid there. Electivire, though, is going to go for a Night Slash. Does have a high critical hit ratio. Onto Magmortar there. Big hit. Puts it in the danger zone. You heard the sound of the danger zone there, so we know that Magmortar is somewhat safe. Magby's going to go for Aeroblast. It's a flying type move, so it's not very effective. Onto Elekid there, pushing Elekid into the danger zone. Now Magmortar has a chance to respond to being put in the danger zone itself, and it's going to go for Earth Power, which is a super effective move. It's on the Elekid, which I think is a big mistake right there. Taking down the Elekid, but the Elekid was already in the danger zone. Really, that would have been way better to use it on Electivire, although that light screen definitely helped that Earth Power not do as much damage, because you saw Elekid's HP still went down quite slowly for a super effective hit. We see Outrage from Electivire locking itself in for the next couple of turns. Big damage to Magby, takes it straight out of contention. And now, unless Magmortar can do something to stop Electivire, we know Magmortar's going down next turn. Or Totemize from Magmortar going to increase its speed and make itself nimble, but that's not going to help you. Although it might make it faster than Electivire, might give it an opportunity to try again on the next turn, I suppose. But if it doesn't do anything significant to stop Electivire, then this round will go to Electivire and Elekid. Magmortar's going to go for Hyper Voice. With Light Screen up, I don't think that's enough. It's not enough, so we know Outrage is coming, so that's gotta be it. Down goes Magmortar, and this is going to go to a third round. It is one apiece. Magmortar and Magby 1, Electivire and Elekid 1, and whoever wins this is going to the final to face Togepi and Togekiss. So everything to play for in this third round of this second semi-final of MetroMania Season 11. We see a Thunderfang starting off from Electivire, so a same type attack bonus, huge damage, puts Magby down to less than half its max HP, but the Flame Body comes into effect, which is going to cripple Electivire going forward, puts it on a timer and halves its attack. We see a Defend Order from Elekid. Elekid senses what's up and thinks that this battle might be up to Elekid to solve. So its defense and special defense go up by one stage apiece. Not a bad starting play at all. And here comes Magmortar, who's going to go for a Fire Pledge, a same type attack bonus move right there, onto the Elekid for a big chunk of damage. It would have been even bigger if not for that Defend Order. And here comes Magby going for a high jump kick, means business. And it's going to land the high jump kick on Electivire for a great big chunk of damage as well. And there's the burn damage on Electivire. So a lot of damage issued to both sides in this battle. Magmortar, though, still sitting pretty at full HP. Here comes Elekid, though. Elekid's raring to go. What's it going to do here? Going to go for Gust, which will do some neutral damage. Not the greatest choice of move there, but does bring Magby ever closer to its doom. And now Electivire, with its burn, is going to go for Strength Sap. Not a bad play, reducing the attack stat of Magby. I'd have gone for Magmortar, personally. But that is going to not only lower the attack of Magby, but also restore Electivire's HP back up to maximum there. Strength Sap, arguably one of my favorite moves. I love that move. It's such a debilitating move for opponents. Electro Ball from Magmortar is going to be not very effective on Electivire there, because it's not very effective on electric types, but also because Magmortar is slower than Electivire. Magby's going to go for Strength onto which opponent there with its reduced attack stat onto Elekid. Barely any damage to Elekid, because of course Elekid is at +1 defense, Magby is at -1 attack, so it effectively halves the amount of damage that Magby can do physically to Elekid. Here comes Elekid, though. What's it going to do in response to that strength? Going to go for Toxic Spikes and waste a turn? Doesn't seem like a good idea when you've got everything to play for right now. But I guess Electivire might have something up its sleeve. What is it going to do? What's on Electivire's mind? It's going to go for Aurora Veil, but that's going to fail because Hail is not in effect. So that's a big mistake there. Over to Magmortar. Can it capitalize? It's going to go for Flying Press, which won't be very effective on Electivire there. Not a great deal of damage dealt. But of course, any damage is better than no damage. So over to Magmortar here, Magby, who's going to go for a not very effective Brave Bird onto the Electivire. They are focusing their attacks on the Electivire right now, I guess because it's the more powerful of the two, but it is the one that's on a timer, so I don't know why you'd focus on Electivire. Take out Elekid first would be my go-to if it was me. But here comes Elekid, speaking of, ready to go with the metronome, and it's going to go for Payday. I mean, we all want to get paid, so make sure you're liking this video so more people can see it, please. Thanks. Putting Magby into the danger zone with only 9 hit points left is that Payday from Elekid. And now Electivire is going to go for a Drain Punch. It's going to be a halve because its attack stat is halved, but it's still going to drain a little bit of HP there from Magmortar. Still a decent amount of damage there, bringing Electivire just a little bit higher in its HP. But now Magmortar can respond. What is Magmortar going to do here? It's going to go for Fury Swipes. How many hits is it going to land? It gets 1 on the Elekid there. It gets 2 on the Elekid. 3 hits. And the static comes into play. That is the risk when you go for a multi-hit physical move on Elekid there. 3 hits, and now Magmortar is paralyzed, which does not bode well for Magmortar and Magby. Here's Magby with a Grass Pledge, though, onto Elekid. But, of course, Elekid eats it up because that increased special defense there, but it is in the danger zone. Electivire is still burned, but which way is this battle going to go? The baby Pokemon are both looking very, very worse for wear right now. Here we see Electivire, who's going to go for Ice Shard, which won't be very effective, especially with the reduced attack stat there, just tickling Magmortar there. And now Elekid has an opportunity to throw its hat in the ring. What is it going to do here? Going to go for Flash Cannon. Again, not very effective. Onto which of its opponents, though? Onto Magby, and it's just enough to take down Magby, so now it is all up to Magmortar. If Magmortar can't handle Electivire and Elekid, then Magmortar and Magby will leave this competition. It is expanding force, though, from Magmortar onto, I believe, the Elekid there. So there we go. Turnabout is fair play. Elekid out of contention as well. It's all down to Magmortar versus Electivire. And whichever of these big bruisey Pokemon wins takes its team to the finals to face Togepi and Togekiss. So this is a very, very high stakes situation right now. Electivire is ready with its metronome, going for double edge. Remember, it's half the power because of the burn, but it still does big damage to Magmortar there. There's the recoil damage, equally as bad to Electivire. Well, not equally as bad. It's about 33% recoil damage, I think, for double edge. Correct me in the comments. I want to be wrong. And of course, the burn damage on Electivire. Electivire got lucky because Magmortar couldn't perform that turn because of its paralysis. Haze, though, removing all stat changes is an interesting play there. I can't remember if Magmortar or Electivire have any stat changes at the moment, but just in case, now they don't. Here's Hyper Voice, which Magmortar tried to use to take out Electivire in the previous round, and it worked! And down goes Electivire! So Magmortar and Magby are through to the finals just like that. That was out of nowhere. What on earth? So they've done it. So our finals are set for next week. Make sure you tune in. Togepi and Togekiss are going to be taking on Magmortar and Magby. I'm in shock. That ended so suddenly. What in the world? So thanks for watching another episode of MetroMania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Share this video with a friend. Head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainerLiam for all of my live streams and use code ACE for money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.